Hi, this is Hani Bushra. I'm an attorney. I practice primarily in the area of immigration law, and this video is shot on June 6, 2019. And the reason for this video is just to provide some updates regarding the asylum office and the asylum process. A lot of my clients are in the asylum office waiting their interviews and have been waiting results. And so I just wanted to give a very short update regarding what's going on with these offices. But I just want to say that since the administration of President Trump came into office, there has been an increasing antagonism towards immigrants, and we've seen a slow change towards making it harder. Even the American Immigration Lawyer Association calls it the erection of the invisible wall against immigration. And we are seeing that this wall is becoming taller and taller and longer these days. And we're seeing it primarily hit the area of the asylum office. At this point, we're seeing delays in the asylum office, even in new applications that have been submitted and getting their interviews. May has been the busiest month for people trying to come into the United States through the southern borders. And a lot of the resources of the asylum office are gone or are going towards dealing with the people who are coming through the borders because they have to be interviewed, and these people are usually are detained by the government, and so the government is paying for them in jail. And therefore, a lot of the officers are spending their time dealing with the people on the borders and not doing interviews for asylum application. And that's why if you submitted your application in April and in May, you might not have had an interview. Somebody else that you might know might have had an interview, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing that some people get an interview, some people don't get an interview. Usually there's nothing to be associated. They didn't pick a case and refused your case, but it's just simply that there is a delay in the processing of cases, and so they end up processing some of the cases and leaving the other ones to go back to at a different time. We're also seeing that there is delay in the results, and we believe that delay in the results is intentional. We're seeing that people are usually told to come back after 2 weeks to pick up their decision, but after a couple of days we get a phone call or we get a letter from USCIS saying, you know what, don't come back and pick up the decision, we're going to mail it to you. And it's just been mailed. It takes time for them to mail it. Especially if it's an approval, I think we're seeing it take a little bit longer to mail it. There's a lot of reasons for why this is happening, but we've heard from some people within the asylum officers who have said things like that there's new background security checks that are being imposed on them all the time by the administration, which makes things take longer and harder. We also heard some comments regarding that there is a culture of fear that is being developed inside the USCIS. This fear is from top down, meaning that the people on top have been asked to leave, and we saw that with the removal of Director Cessna from USCIS. Director Cessna was not a very easy director towards immigration, but he was somebody who followed the law. And there was even among the immigration lawyer community, even if we felt that he was not a friendly face towards immigrants, at least he followed the law. But as you probably know, that in May of 2019, he was asked to resign, and he did resign. And I think his resignation is effective sometime next week. And the proposed name to come after him is somebody who's really anti-immigration. But you got to understand that the asylum officers and other officers within USCIS are government employees, and they're employees who care about their jobs, care about their livings. And so if their bosses are being driven out because they're not tough enough, that creates a culture of fear within the officers themselves, not to have very positive results, because you want to send the message to the supervisors who are staying that you're not somebody who's easy, you're not a pushover or anything like that. And so my advice to a lot of people who have not had an interview and they are nagging to get an interview, that maybe this is a blessing in disguise, that you did not get an interview immediately, and that you are waiting for an interview. Maybe that things will change to the better, or maybe we have a different administration by next year, that, or by the end of next year, that would be more friendly towards immigrants. But at this point, what we're seeing is a very aggressive behavior towards immigrants in USCIS, and not only in the asylum office, but in every other aspect. Even things like N400 interviews, things like which is the citizenship interviews, that are becoming more aggressive and they're becoming harder, and we're seeing extensive denials. That's besides the wait times that we're seeing. Even green card interviews for spouses are becoming more difficult. And so based on these things, my advice is that if you have an asylum interview, that you would delay that. You cannot delay it intentionally, but what I'm saying is that if there's an asylum interview and you did not get an interview date set yet, that you wouldn't be nagging too much to get an interview. This is just a quick update about what's going on with the asylum office primarily. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us or to leave us a comment, and we will try our best to respond to all your questions. Thank you and have a good day.